The name of the book is Terminus by Peter Clines. Here we go again. Well, hello, this is Shane from Shane's Reviews, and I hope that you're having a good day today. So, you know, I've recorded this video more than once. Less than 6 times. We'll say this might be 4 or 5. This is a cursed video. Don't watch this. I don't know what's going on, but it seems like every time I record this video, there's something. I can see my audio levels, so this time, hopefully the audio will be okay. I haven't lost anything this time, I swear. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing this. I don't know what the deal is with this video. I don't know why we can't seem to get it out. It's not any one person's fault either. That's the funniest part about it. But it's like the universe does not want me to say what I want to say about this book. So, Lynette, this is my dedication. Okay? I don't know why I'm doing that with my hand. Let's see if we can get through this. So the name of the book is Terminus. It was wrote by Peter Clines, and it was narrated by, I believe, Ray Porter. And let's fact check me, because, boy, that'd be fun. Yes. It is 11 hours and 21 minutes long on Audible, and it's part of the Threshold series. Now, there's a couple of you that have mentioned that, hey, I don't think that you actually read this book. And good eyes, I haven't posted anything on here because we keep having problems with this recording. So here we go again. All right, so narration, Ray Porter, solid. It's good. I don't have a problem, one, with anything that he decided to do inside of this. Some of the accents are maybe just a tad towards the extreme, but on the same token, it's laughable. And I think it was meant to be that way, or they wouldn't have done it. So it's lovable in that kind of a regard. Now, the story, there's several books in this series, and I can't speak highly enough about them. The exception of one. There's one where they go to the moon. Not a fan of that one. And the reason why is because it was kind of like a crossover in between a zombie series that he had and this, in my opinion, really awesome sci-fi thing that he has, and he tried to slam the two together so that the audiences would merge and see that he had other works. It's a smart tactic, but it's a problem with stay in lane. I prefer these kinds of books, but I really just, the whole zombie thing just doesn't do it for me. Now, is the idea terrifying? Yes, it is. Is the concept of having to fight to rebuild humanity at all costs, but ultimately you can't win, appealing? No, but it's one of those things. It does make for some interesting stuff if I happen to be in the mood for it. But that's really not my kind of thing. My thing is more really good sci-fi, and I prefer kind of like the space/military drama type stuff over zombies any day. Even if it's not good, I'd still prefer it over the zombie stuff any day. But I digress. So that's enough about a book that we're not talking about. Now let's talk about Terminus. As I said, Ray Porter, narrations, incredibly done. The production quality was on par. It was good. There wasn't really anything, no pops, no clicks that I can remember. So if they were there, they were so subtle it didn't matter, because I do notice stuff like that. Well, let's get to it. There's a different kind of a setup at first than there is in the first one, because I think this was the second or 2.5 or something like that book in this series. The first one, 14, was absolutely phenomenal. And please, editors, if I have just misspoke because it's been, I don't know, 8 months since we've read this book, correct me, please. Put a bad voiceover and then leave this in after so everybody can see me floundering and being awkward. But that's fine.
Yes. No worries, Shane. This is the third book in the installment, from what I understand.
The story itself is kind of interesting. There's a couple of different things to know. There's these entities that are kind of out there a little bit. They have physical manifestations that are different, and so instead of having a normal human body, they might have a claw, or they might be exaggerated on their proportions, like really thin, wide shoulders, looking like a marionette or something. Then there's the other situations. So the island is a interesting place that was created. And that's part of the thing that I enjoy so much about Peter Clines and his storytelling, is his ability to get all these details into something, and or leave things so ambiguously open that later on it looks like a planned detail. One of the two. I'm not sure of which. The man's either a super genius extraordinaire, or he's really good at note-taking. One of the two. Don't know. You tell me. But the point being is that this island that was created by the same people that was creating the other place, the house, the apartment complex. And so that's where things get really interesting, because we find out so much more about this threshold universe because of that and that book, the first and this one. And it lets us into just this phenomenally incredible storyline, in my opinion. Actually, it's probably one of my favorite, and the reason for that is because of his style, the way that he goes about doing this. And it's not your standard, hey, here's Tesla, hey, here's Westinghouse, here's all this other stuff, and there's a conspiracy to hold something. No. He's got this way of taking all this steampunk, Jules Verne type things, and making them believably fantastic. That's what it is. If I remember, didn't he write Paradox Unbound, or Paradox Bound? That's what it was. Yes, he did write that. I thought so. Paradox Bound is a perfect example of that. Whenever that book ended, I didn't want it to stop. I wanted to keep going. I did not want to leave that place. That was one of the few books that I picked up and read start to finish nonstop, and actually sequestered myself away so that I could finish it. And if this book and 14, so if Terminus and 14 had both been out at the same time, but if I could have sat down and read both of those at the same time, I think I would have had the same experience. Although, let's be frank, a solid day of being sequestered would be a bit much. But, the story was just absolutely phenomenal. The family goes to kidnap somebody, does indeed kidnap them. We find out who they are in a little while. The world is out of balance whenever it comes to the machine. If you've read the first one, you know what I'm talking about there. And they're trying to figure out why. But then there's the question of, is this time travel, or am I here, or what is this, or why is this happening? Peter Clines does an excellent job of answering these questions and telling a pretty good survival story while he's at it. Not only the survival of the people on the island, but the survival of, the world, and then the people of the world. So there's there's a lot of layers on that. Insert your favorite Shrek meme here about onions, I guess. Even if it is outdated. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So, anyway, the family and Murdoch has a split. He ends up taken out, and then the person that was kidnapped, we find out why that person was kidnapped and what their purpose would be. But of course, because of this person's disposition, they're not really going to help. They're not going to do anything to help aid the family, because they're like, no, that's not right. It's frightening. What is wrong with you for wanting to bring this upon everything and everyone? It's a big lie. Just back away. Just don't do it. But of course, they do their best to do it. And the way that the book wraps out, and so that catches you up. All right. So with that being said, the story between the family and the island and the people is phenomenal. There's so much in it, and it's a joy. So I can't really say enough good about it. It's going to be worth your time, efforts, and energies. If you haven't even read the first one, if you haven't read the first one, this book would certainly get you interested in reading the first one. And then there'd be a lot of, I don't know if there would actually be plot holes, though, that would need to be fulfilled. So I would say, yes, it is worth your time, efforts, and energies. If you haven't read Terminus, you should. Coming from me, very, very rarely do I say something that static, but seriously, if you haven't read it, what are you doing? So yeah, I would certainly say check out the books in the Threshold series, except Dead Moon. That's more like that Sunday afternoon movie that nobody really wanted to watch, but everybody did because there wasn't anything else on TV at the point in time, if you follow my drift. But the other ones in it are absolutely phenomenal. And in fact, I think after I get done with this, I'm going to check to see if there's another one, because the way that book ended, this thing's opening up. So I enjoyed it quite a bit. Question of the day, how should we go about that without giving anything away? Oh, there was one thing I can complain about. It's not a they thing, this is a Peter Clines thing. Peter Clines put somebody in this book that was one of the most bad representations of a social media person that I could imagine. But on the same token, you know what? How many times have I said, if you're not true to the character, I don't like the character. But I did like this character because even though he was trying really hard, he just wasn't succeeding at being a really well-rounded individual. We'll just leave that at that. But anyway, I digress. Question of the day. I think I already said that, but just in case if I didn't. You end up in a place that brings back the veil. You find out that things like the Illuminati might actually be possible. You find out that there was a secret underground organization that was doing things to affect humanity, but they had the best intentions in mind of keeping the planet alive and keeping it from being cold whenever civilization gets to be too big. So basically the galactic cleaners are the ones that are coming. So you find out they're coming, you have the veil removed, you have your first influence with them, and this interaction tries to drive you mad. You can't look away. Once your eyes land upon one of them, you just continuously stare. What do? Comment section. I'd like to see where this goes. And hopefully we'll see if this video went up or not. If it did, awesome. If it didn't, not awesome. That's all I'm going to say on that. So I don't know which one of the videos over here that you'll choose, but there should be one coming in from the side. And if you do, then I will see you in the next video. Now I need some emotional support. So if you've made it this far, thank you. You're my hero. That's right. Let's bring it in. Come on. Come on.